Welcome back. All right. So these playoffs continue on, and we got 4 reviews tonight. We're starting with the Battle of Ontario, as this was the first start tonight. Ullmark versus Stolars. And for Toronto, they're at home. It's game 5. They're up 3-1. Sure, you lost game 4, but what is there to be worried about? So, good early forechecking by Ottawa. Domi has a rush chance that's defended. Perron hits the post. Puck goes onto the line, and Riley prevents a goal there. So, early on, Morgan Riley, nice defensive play to prevent a goal for the Ottawa Senators. McMahon fans on a slot opportunity. McCabe has a shot that's blocked as the Leafs press. Tavares is then denied on a breakaway. Stolars then comes out and wins a race to the puck, making sure that Ottawa doesn't get it there. Jensen has a shot that's held. There's some pushing. Shots are 4-2 Toronto at 6.5 minutes. All they need is a goal. Ullmark, who early in the series looked shaky, been less shaky as the series has gone on here. Shabbat has a wrister that saved as the Sens press. Things get scrummy and a hold by Ullmark. The referee, I felt, was going to penalize somebody at some point if that kept up. It wasn't really that hotly contested physically, though. There were 65 hits in this one altogether, but comparatively speaking, with the 103 hits I'm looking at in the Oilers-Kings game. Anyways, so we didn't have to worry about that. The scrums would settle down. The Sens press with 9 minutes left. Nyes loses the handle on a fast break opportunity. The Leafs press with 7 minutes left. Gregg has a net feed. That gets blocked. We then get a power play for Toronto. Marner has a screenshot that's held. Matthews to Tavares. Near miss there. Then we get 51 seconds of 4-on-4, and things are kind of scrummy as that call is made. The Leafs then had a shorthanded 3-on-2, which ended up finishing off the power play on the other side. So Toronto had 5 shots during that 109 worth of power play they had before the penalty was called here, and they killed off that penalty as well pretty nicely. Then with 1:35 left, the Sens go back to the power play. Tkachuk can't bury one. There's a shorthanded rush by Lawton. Then there's another clear. We get to the horn. It is a 0-0 tie after the first period. Second period, it's a shorthanded rush by Marner that finishes the kill. So there you go. Ottawa's power play no more successful tonight than Toronto's. Then Matthews has a near miss on a 2-on-1 rush. Gregg has a net feed that's picked off. Pad save on Lawton. Sends clear. Good forechecking by the Leafs. Shabbat has a shot that's blocked out. And then at 3:46, a point shot past a screen on a faceoff win. Shabbat buries it. The assist to Tkachuk and Stützle. So Stützle got on the board a bit tonight, and that's important. If Ottawa's going to ride some momentum, they're going to have a chance. They're going to need Stützle going, right? So we get a power play for Toronto. They cycle, Sens block. High stick sends the face-off to the Leafs end, so they play it with a high stick. And, yeah, that means the face-off goes all the way down to the other end. The power play was killed off, and I thought it was much better than the penalty kill for the Ottawa Senators previous, where they allowed 5 shots in 1 minute and 9 seconds of action. In fact, the shots are only 2 apiece at 8.5 minutes, and I think the Sens are fine with this. They're up 1-0, right? So the Sens press at 9 minutes. They get more pressure with 9.5 minutes left. The fans call one. The referee does not. I only heard 1 Brady sucks chant tonight, and I only heard 2 ref sucks chants tonight. So, and I didn't even need the counter on one of the games tonight. So apparently he was just really, really busy with a lot of ref you suck chants, and maybe fans are getting tired. Maybe that's what it is. Series are going on longer, that kind of thing. So anyways, shots are 5-3 Ottawa with 7.5 minutes left. Batherson has a net drive chance. That's blocked. The Leafs press with 5.5 minutes left. Marner's denied on a net drive. The fans call when the referee does not. Things get pushy on a hold by Stolars. The teams trade rushes. The Leafs press in the final minute. Tavares is then denied in the closing seconds. So it's 1-0 Ottawa after 2. But Toronto's still in this, and it's Ottawa, right? So here we go, third period. Tkachuk's denied from the slot. The Leafs rush. Good forechecking by Toronto at this point. The teams then trade turnovers. McCabe has a shot that's blocked. There's a glove save on a chance for Chris Tanev. Gregg has a backhander that's held. The shots are 3-2 Ottawa at 4.5 minutes. The Sens press 5 minutes into the period. Leafs get pinned a bit, but they're blocking the path to the net, and then Domi clears it, so no harm, no foul there. McCabe then has a shot that's kicked aside as the Leafs are getting some pressure. Hey, they're down 1-0. They know they need that. We get a power play for Toronto. Early clear. Leaf cycle. Nylander has a chance that's saved. Matthews to Nyes. There's a near miss there. Nylander has a shot that's blocked, and then on a 2-on-1 rush the other way, Ottawa makes it 2-0. It's Dylan Cousins with the shorthanded goal from Adam Gaudette at 8:24. we have ourselves a 2-0 lead for the Ottawa Senators. We also have a very quiet Toronto Maple Leafs crowd. The Leafs cycle, but yeah, Ottawa finishes the kill on that one. The Leafs press at 9.5 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Ullmark. Stützle has a rush chance that saved. There's a kick save on McCabe. Puck's cleared out. More pushing on a hold by Ullmark. The fans are getting restless at this point. Toronto fans demanding shots and chances, and a little bit of booze, a smattering in there, as well as fans are kind of like, okay, we've watched this storyline for the last 8 years. Year 9 should be different. We then get a post for Matthews. The send's clear, so that close to getting on the board, but they don't. Marner has a screenshot that goes wide. The Leafs press with 4 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 3:05 left because they're down by 2. And then at 17:09, after Toronto had hit some posts, just not able to get the net, Stützle hits the empty netter, Giroux and Tkachuk with the assists. So it is a 3-0 lead in favor of Ottawa. Leafs call a timeout because they're down by 3. Fans are out, though. A lot of fans left. Not a lot of faith that with less than 3 minutes left and down by 3 that the Leafs are going to be able to come back and tie this one. Goalie pull happens again because, I mean, it's the playoffs. You need to try to get a win. McMahon to Domi near miss. The Boo Birds were definitely out at this point, too, for those who stayed behind and didn't just join the rush out the door. At 19:13, Tkachuk hits the empty net from Stützle, so that makes it 4-0. With 7.5 seconds left, things get pushy. A couple guys have a bit of a wrestle down on the ice, and so the game ends with a 4-on-4. And things are chatty at the horn, but Ottawa, they pull off the win, 4-0. So the Homer Simpson magnet's on the board because Toronto has failed to close out this series twice. And my first thought, and for those who are old enough to remember Twin Peaks, I had the vision in my head of the giant from Twin Peaks saying, "It is happening again. It is happening again." And I really feel like, even though Toronto leads this series 3-2, they need to play a little more desperate. I didn't think we saw enough desperation from Toronto. I do think that what we see with the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs every year is that they get in their own heads. Look at the shots. 12-4 Toronto in the first, and then it just really dials back. 8-6 Ottawa in the second, 9-7 Toronto in the third. They do outshoot the Ottawa Senators 27-19. Power plays, Ottawa 0-2, Toronto 0-3. The hits 40-25 in favor of Toronto. Ullmark saves all 27 shots. The Tony the Tiger magnet's on the board because he's great. We were 1 goal away from an extermination magnet for this one, although that would have been unfair because 2 of them are empty netters. It was closer than it looks. Stolarz saves 15 out of 17. And for the Ottawa Senators, now they're going home for Game 6. This is what I was talking about. This is where it gets really, really tough. All of the pressure is now on Toronto. They had a 3-0 series lead, then it became 3-1. Now it's 3-2. All of the pressure's on Toronto. Between now and Game 6, all of the discussion's going to be about whether or not they're choking away the series. I am sure they're getting a lot of questions from reporters tonight about that, and they will hear those same questions up until Game 6. Toronto has to show that fortitude, that mettle, that ability to overcome this. And based on all of the years we've watched Toronto go through this, I don't know. I'm to the point now where, like, after Game 3, I was like, all right, so this series should be done. Toronto should be able to round this out. But it kind of reminds me of 2021 that way. Toronto's up 3-1 on Montreal, and I'm like, they'll close this out, so they're going to get past Montreal. We finally don't have to hear about Toronto not being able to get out of the first round anymore. And then they lost 3 in a row, which was another example of it being, I felt, psychological. So I think we're there again. I think the Leafs are beating themselves at this point. I think we're seeing their star players tightening up just a little bit. I'm not trying to take anything away from Ullmark either. Ullmark was excellent, but this is a game you have to win if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they didn't. So we'll see how Game 6 goes, but I did pick Ottawa to win the series, and suddenly I feel like, you know what? Maybe I feel a little better about my pick because, I mean, if they lose it in 6, they lose it in 6, but I'm like, hey, Ottawa made a series of it. But if this goes 7, if this comes back to Toronto in a Game 7, I don't know. Toronto's record in Game 7s, so they have to win this in Ottawa. Or we could be talking about another colossal just falling apart by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are they going to win Game 6? Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.